What I didn't hear in that was an apology to this committee.
I don't think an apology is owed.
So you withheld the information.
We did not withhold the information.
You misled Congress in May when you said those emails would be provided.
I want to apologize to you for the way you've been treated this morning.
The apology that ought to be given is to the American taxpayer, not to a government agency that is abusing its power.
Were you purposely not telling us?
No.
Were you purposely not revealing this to the American people?
You didn't tell us that.
We told you on Monday.
On Monday.
And what did you do with the information?
Because we asked you.
Right, and what did you do with that information?
You told us on Monday because we asked you whether any other hard drives crash. This is unbelievable.
And on and on and on. Fired up now over a possible cover-up. Republican lawmakers grilling IRS Chief John Koskinen over missing Lois Lerner email, something that a number of technical experts had told me is nearly impossible to have happen unless everyone's in on it, from administrators on down. And even then, statistically, like 700 to 1. Mike Huckabee says it's time for a special prosecutor. And the time is now. Governor, good to have you. What did you make of today's hearings?
I was very proud of people like Dave Camp and Paul Ryan who took it straight to the commissioner. It's exactly what needs to happen. Neil, for a long time, I've been a big fair tax proponent because it gets rid of the IRS. This is only giving new levels of emphasis to the reason why. The IRS has become a criminal enterprise, needs to be stopped. It's abusive to the American taxpayer. They get away with what I can't get away with as a taxpayer. It's got to stop.
You know what was interesting when Koskinen was talking about, I'm not going to apologize on the email thing, I'm just paraphrasing here, Governor, because you got the emails that you wanted from the period you wanted, but then when they tried to clarify, yeah, but the real period we want is from the 2009 to 2011 period, 2 years that just up and disappeared. That's kind of weird, and that's when a lot of this was going on. So, yes, we do want to see those, and it doesn't make sense that they'd all disappear. And I've talked to a number of, IT guys here and outside here and had them on Fox News and Fox Business. They say, Neil, that's next to impossible to do. They want to subpoena the server and the mainframe, whatever you call it, to trace the history about who deleted what and when, because they've got to see how this could happen. And they tell me, to a man and a woman, it can happen.
Well, 18.5 minutes of missing tape in the Nixon administration led to the resignation of a president, to the indictment, and ultimately to the felony convictions and imprisonment of some of the highest officials in the United States. I cannot imagine that a special prosecutor wouldn't be able to find some criminal activity here. We don't know, but every time we ask for something, a person either shows up with a Fifth Amendment or they just conveniently found out that their dog ate their hard drive. And people aren't buying it. And I think when Paul Ryan just looked at him square in the eyes and said, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
Well, especially when this is the IRS.
Else.
This is the IRS, and I mean, they don't lose anything. And the demand, to Paul Ryan's point, we keep 7 years of records and not lose them.
Yeah.
They can hang on to everything and anything to go after us. For them to lose this, it just stretches the bounds of credulity. But now we're talking about a potential cover-up here, and which is why you want a prosecutor involved, right?
I do want a special prosecutor. I think it's the only thing that can get to the truth. Look, the reason this is more important than some other federal agency, Neil, the IRS is the closest thing the U.S. has to a Gestapo. They can investigate us, they can charge us, they can convict us, and they can punish us all in one stop.
You're right.
This is the one agency in federal government where there's not the usual checks and balances of having to go to various entities and prove the evidence and show that there's a probable cause and then present it to a jury of your peers. The IRS can decide they're going after you, and they can ruin your life. And even if you win, they can still ruin your life, because by the time you get through paying the lawyers and the accountants, you're dead broke. You're out of business.
But I tell you what,
that's why
Governor,
this has to stop.
I'm going to tell the IRS that they're going after me. I lost all those documents. I don't know what the heck happened to them.
Absolutely.
You've got a big interview coming up next week, don't you, Gov?
We do. We're going to have Justina Pelletier, the young lady who was essentially kidnapped and held hostage by the state of Massachusetts for over 16 months, and she'll make her first appearance on television on our show a week from Saturday.
Man, oh man. Good stuff. Governor, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Neil. Great.